Woo.
And if we have any connection problems, then we'll just roll with it on Instagram. Okay, here we are. We are live. I am going to turn off the sound there. Okay, back to Zoom. Hold on. Where do we go? Oh, okay, this is good. All right, okay, so here we are live on YouTube. Hello, everyone who's joined in, and I am now going to go live on Instagram, Davonte, and you can pipe in. Oh, shoot, cancel. Let's put the title in here. Let's see, what does a Kundalini awakening feel like? Whoops. Feel like. Here we go. Add title, and there we go. Okay.
Awesome. Question to join.
Oh, we are live. I'm live. Okay, so here we are live on Instagram. Davonte shared is about to join in. I see him on. Here we go. We are going to talk about what does a Kundalini awakening feel like. And I am, oh, awesome. And the camera, at least my camera's looking good, because it's hard to move it right now. Welcome, Davonte.
Greetings, greetings, greetings.
Look at you. I was saying earlier, you just, you with that background, you just kind of beam in, you just kind of like float in to the screen to be present here, and you're glowing. And
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And I'm broadcasting from Mission Beach. I'm actually, I was just telling Davonte before we went live, I'm the meme right now. I've got sand in my toes. I've got my bikini on still, salt, air through my hair, and looking at the ocean right now. And we get to enjoy the sun setting together. Everybody now going live. Everything okay? Yeah, okay. I got some tech support here with me too. All right, so we're going to talk about Kundalini awakening, and want to share a little bit about how I met Davonte. It was divine timing. A friend of mine, actually, that I work with at a luxury wellness center, had shared his post on Facebook with me, and she said, "This reminds me of you." And I read it, and I was like, "Oh, he gets it. He understands like the Kundalini awakening, that Kundalini energy that I'm studying in my PhD in my dissertation topic." And so we got to chatting, and just wanted to see if we could talk about that and share, what that feels like, because most people don't know what a Kundalini awakening is, or even Kundalini. And I asked my co-host and friend Kirti about it. I said, "Kirti, how would you define very simply Kundalini?" And she said, "It's creativity. It's your creative life force. It creates all. And it can come in and be almost destructive force to some things in your life and shake them loose, and then it sort of births a whole other being," which in my experience of my Kundalini awakening in 2014 was coming back into my true self and more of in my path. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say, Davonte, about that. And I know I'm looking like he and I we're broadcasting live on YouTube and Instagram, so we're looking at like different cameras right now. So if that confuses y'all, I'm sorry. So I'm actually cannot find my my camera on Zoom. I'm using a different computer than I normally am, but we're gonna go with it. Okay, I'm all ears, Davonte. Where do you want to start?
Well, greetings, everybody for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for having me on this wonderful divine show, Natasha. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for being here.
I'm tuning in right now from South Carolina. Originally, this is where I'm from, and I'm back in my home place now. So all is well, and I feel comfortable. I feel good. I feel great. So let's get started right into the Kundalini and what Kundalini really is. So in order to understand what a Kundalini awakening is, we must first start and understand what Kundalini is. So we start with the basis of everything is energy. Even Albert Einstein said everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you desire, and you cannot help but to obtain it. So everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. But the basis of this energy is creative energy, sexual energy. So everything that we see is created from sexual energy. You were created from sexual energy. When you create something in your life, it comes from the sexual energy within you, your sacral chakra of creativity. So the Kundalini is essentially this creative energy that's in you. It's the life force that's powering you up, but it's only at its dormant stage, its physical stage, when it's unawakened. It only allows you to, interact with the physical, be very root chakra focused until it is awakened. Now, when it starts awakening, I'll explain how mine started awakening. I was essentially, I was going to college, and I couldn't afford to continue my studies, so I took a semester off. And then I took a semester off. I started learning about this thing called Forex, how to make money besides just the traditional system. And when I started researching that, I also started learning about the mind. I started learning about law of attraction and how we manifest our reality with our thoughts. So I started learning how powerful we really are. And when I started learning this stuff, so many aha moments hit me, so many wonderful divine downloads started hitting me. Instead of spending all my energy and investment and time going to college to further work for somebody else, why not invest all this energy into my business? So I became very single-mindedly focused on Forex, and I literally cut out everything else in my life. I even cut out, working. I quit the job before I even was really profitable. And I really just started focusing on this. And long story short, I basically you're never really successful at nothing when you first try. So I was going through my ups and downs with it. And eventually I became homeless because I got kicked out, wasn't, paying for bills. I wasn't supporting anybody that I was with financially because I was still just focused on trying to master this. And eventually this led me to being at a bus station. So I was at this bus station homeless. It's basically a bus station that was also a gas station. So it was open 24/7. And they were so kind as to let me sleep in this room that was just for people waiting for the buses. So during those 3 months, basically everybody was calling me crazy. Everybody thought I was crazy. Like, why are you giving up school? Why are you giving up everything? Why are you believing in something that you can't see? Why are you, what is wrong with you? You're talking. Nobody could understand me. The stuff that I was saying was way beyond the average person's conscious level. My conscious was already beginning to separate from the root chakra and begin to go up to the sacral chakra of creativity. I was beginning to birth my own product, my own way, my own vision. And no one else could understand me at the time or my vision at the time because it wasn't given to them, and we weren't on the same frequencies anymore. So I began to just constantly.
Speaking of which, Davonte, sorry to interrupt. I just want to check in if everybody can hear us okay on Instagram. If anybody that's joined us on Instagram, how is the sound? Can you hear us all right? Because I know I'm outdoors right now, so I don't know if my speaker's picking up. If you can hear us, just send us some hearts or a thumbs up or something like that. Okay, good. Thank you, Misty.
Awesome,
that's
awesome.
And then, okay, great, awesome. Yes, we can hear you. Perfect. Okay, one more thing. I gotta check out Chad. Can I get your help over here with this computer? Because I have, since we're live on YouTube right now, YouTube opened up on the laptop. This is not my computer that I'm using today. but my Zoom conference, I cannot see, but it's got to be open in another window somewhere. Are you familiar with this?
You know, sometimes what happens is it's down in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking for your Zoom?
To like, I don't want to close or lose anything. Yeah.
Looking for your Zoom, right? Okay.
Yeah, so that I can, because I feel like I'm listening to Davonte, but I'm looking at him in this camera, but I want to, but he's talking. Oh, perfect. Yes, there you are. Now we're connected. You're literally speaking about being on different frequencies, and I'm like, Davonte, I'm not on your frequency right now because we're not looking into the same camera. So this is what happens, right? And so here we are. Now we're in the same zone. Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Okay, so what you were saying is that the energy was moving from kind of like into your second chakra, this creativity starting to come out. People weren't understanding where you were coming from because they couldn't feel what you were going through. And tell us a little bit more about like the feeling. What kind of sensations were you having in your body? Like what kind of feelings were coming through?
I was starting to begin to meditate a lot during that time. So kind of like when you have all this solitude time, you're going within, and I was having all these tingly feelings that I was unable to explain, and I was unable to actually put into words of what I feel. And I was literally struggling between, am I on the right path or have I gone crazy? Like what is going on? Because everybody, the whole world literally just turned against me. That's how I felt. Like everything literally just was like flipped upside down, like you say. It was flipped upside down. I was trying to remain calm by meditating. I was trying to remain calm by, just trying to research what the hell is going on. So I was literally staying up 23 hours a day, drinking coffee, just researching all these topics of what's going on, what's happening. And then out of the blue, angel numbers 222 started guiding me, and that number's been guiding me ever since.
Are you serious?
Yes.
222. Okay, so I told you I'm an 1111 person, but 222 for me is very meaningful as well. For many years, it's my success numbers. And so I learned I was actually born at universal time 2220, so 620, but universal time is 222. And then I just did an astrology thing for my friend who's also celebrating a birthday today. This is her house that we're at celebrating. And she's also born at 222. So we've been seeing the twos all day today.
Wow.
And now you're bringing up twos as well.
Yes, the twos have definitely been guiding me towards wealth. Basically, it's been guiding me towards spiritual wealth and physical wealth. So I was still stuck in between religion and spirituality. I didn't quite left like mainstream Christian because I was still in the Bible every single day, and I was researching to expand my viewpoint of the Bible so I can see it from a different perspective. And everything that I know was just shattering. Everything that I believed in the past was just shedding. Everything was just shedding, because the Kundalini essentially is a fire, and it's literally burning everything that's not you, all the falseness that's in you, so that the energy can rise and it's free to flow. So as this was happening, I was very chaotic. They call it a dark night of the soul. It's essentially what I was going through. And eventually I, found a technique that allowed me to be grounded, a technique that allowed me to essentially ride the wave, but sort of have a little bit more control over the wave. And this is
which is what we were doing today too. I was watching my co-host Kirti float over the waves, and I was just chuckling to myself because I'm like, she's not diving in. There's like these huge waves, and she's just kind of floating over them. So I had that visual in my head as soon as you said that. So very cool.
Yeah. So the beginning stages is very chaotic. But literally it's separating you from everything that's not aligned with your divine path. So it's literally isolating you so that you can elevate. So I was literally being pushed away from society. I couldn't speak to anyone at all without them thinking I was crazy. It was just a pure cage. And then I realized later that that cage was for my benefit. It was for my evolution. So eventually I got out the bus station, I made some money. I got out the bus station. This is when I moved to LA. because I could no longer identify with, the area I was with. I know that more people, there's a greater chance of someone understanding me. There's a greater chance of me
Yeah.
actually connecting and people understanding what I'm going through.
So what were you saying or doing that people thought that you were crazy? I'm just curious because I remember going through my experience and some of the things that were happening. But I
It's
think for me, they kind of liked what I was saying, even though I was like,
right. So essentially, I was being ultra mega positive.
yes.
Ultra mega even when all this stuff was happening, me sleeping here, me sleeping on that, me sleeping on rails, I was just the happiest smiling person
Bliss.
ever. And it was
Full of
like,
bliss.
why are you positive? Why are you thinking positive? It ain't doing nothing. If positive thinking was helping you, why are you still here? And I was like, divine timing, everything is going along. I'm in heaven right now. And people literally couldn't understand why I was in heaven, even though, stuff around me wasn't changed yet. And I just had this belief, this knowing, this inner knowing that, everything is okay. It was a super comforting, almost as if, God metaphorically was holding me and was just rocking me like a baby, and like everything's okay. I literally felt like I was on a different planet. It was just so like that. It was just so like isolating and put into a box. But
I describe it like, for me, it felt like being in a bliss cloud. And so I was like, I don't know if some angels came down and like protected me, and they're like, here, let me just cloud you in this. And it was like pink, like unconditional love bliss cloud. And now you're wearing pink too. And I was protected because my dark night of the soul was going through this gnarly divorce, right? And like all this financial abuse and just like all this stuff happening. And yet I would go do these workshops and I'd be like, yeah, you could get through anything. Like life is beautiful. Like look at the clouds, look at the birds. And I truly felt it. It was truly like coursing through my body, and literally like my body is like pulsating with, like you said, like vibrations, and just feeling so much gratitude, so much bliss, even though you're watching your life like fall apart and you're like, bye. Like, I don't know what's next, but as long as I feel like this, anything can happen. It's going to be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but you felt like you were being protected as well and held.
Yes. Like I was being held. I had a shield around me, that I was being guided to something greater. And essentially that's what I did. I went to LA, and that became greater. And then the process started ascending. The process really started, really took a toll, and really like became like this eye-opening, chakra pulsating, orgasmic bliss point when I, after I learned the teachings, because I still, even though I was, awakened and I had this positive vibe, I still didn't know, I still had blockages within me because I didn't know how I was using and receiving energy. I didn't know about sexual energy. I didn't know I didn't know the deepness of how important and how to use it. And so I came across 2017, so about 3 years ago, actually. I came across my mentor. His name was Jonathan Amaret. And he basically has a course, Science of Sex, Intimacy, and Relationships, that teach you certain tantric techniques to awaken the Kundalini further with a lot of pleasure. So the Kundalini can be awakened both ways, through pain and pleasure. It's just, it can be awakened through intensity. It's awakened through an intense experience.
Yeah, which is a fine line, right? Between pain and pleasure. It's like, whoa, okay, but it's intense either way.
Right, very intense.
Yeah.
And before, I was going through the Kundalini awakening, where so much pressure is put onto you that you just pop.
Yep.
You just
I can
pop up.
identify that. Yep.
And that,
so it can happen through, like you're saying, like natural trauma, or like you're just, everything's like, for me, my life was, as I knew it, was falling apart, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. And then the next thing was, I had this past life regression, like a series of like past life regression things at a spiritual conference that I went to, that I was like, I didn't think anything of it until the next day when things started to happen. I was like, whoa. And then it was just a series of synchronicities, like you're talking about, it like opened it up even more. So you said that your peak your kind of like peak experience was after learning this Tantra technique. But what was it before that that kind of primed you for that pop?
The bus experience is really what primed me. What primed me to actually get the course and actually evolve it even more was I was in a relationship. The relationship was it was going downhill because I was dealing with a person who I had to uplift. She had bipolar disease or whatever. And I didn't at this time I'm so positive. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's just everything is just mental. You know, you're not bipolar. If you keep saying that, that's what's going to manifest. So I'm literally trying to, you know, see if I can reprogram her. And at this time we were you know, smoking weed. We were you know, doing this other stuff that was keeping her on kind of like a mellow state, so she wouldn't fluctuate in between the areas so much. But after we stopped weed, which was about 3 years ago, after I stopped smoking, then the truth, the reality hit me, and I could no longer keep her up. So it was nothing I could do that literally would keep her in a high vibration. It's literally, I was literally saying, "You're good, you're great." I was literally pumping her with so much positive energy so that she couldn't go down, but somehow she just kept going down. So then I knew that this is something that, you know, it's not just a mental battle, it's also a spiritual battle. This is something else. So
and
then
a physical one too. You know, we live in these physical bodies. Steffi, hi. Did you come to enjoy the light? She felt the light. This is one of the birthday girls. I would love for you. Yeah, please join. And if you don't mind, there's a blanket in the bunk bedroom. If you don't, would you mind grabbing it for me? Because it's getting a little bit chilly. Oh, thank you. You look like a goddess. Come and say hello to. This is the birthday girl. This is
happy
Steffi.
birthday.
Look at her. Hello. She's just glowing. Like your lips are literally, they're like iridescent.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's, come on up. We've got an audience now. It's gonna, the party's moving.
Greetings, goddess. How are you?
Oh, you can't hear.
Oh,
because I turned this off. Yeah, because I've got the headphones.
Oh,
Yeah, he's up there too.
hello everyone.
This is Steffi. Say happy birthday to Steffi. Yeah, so yeah, whenever you go back down, a blanket would be awesome. And we might need those candles at some point because it's getting a little bit, we'll have a little bit more.
Very well.
Yeah, anyway, just want to put that request in since you offered earlier. All right.
What's the subject matter? What are you guys
We are talking about Kundalini awakening, and Davonte is sharing his experience, and he was talking about actually you came in right when we were talking about the sexual, kind of like the sexual energy that gets awakened.
I was being called upstairs.
She was being called upstairs for that.
I had food in my mouth. I was like, I need to be upstairs.
She's like, did somebody call me? We're talking about the sexual vibrations now. Yeah. So tell me what, like, let's transition to that aspect, because you talked about, Davonte, like how it brought up your creativity and these things were happening with your business and kind of like how to manifest wealth and in this you know, dimension or whatever you want to call it, earthly existence. And then but you learned how to work with the sexual energy, and that was mainly through this class that you took with Jonathan.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what was happening in your body after you learned this Tantra technique?
So essentially, all of my sexual energy was no longer trapped in the root chakra. It was able to flow into all the other chakras. So essentially, the tantric technique takes the energy from the root chakra, pulls it up to the heart, and then pulls it up to the ground. So the orgasmic feeling that you feel, you know, when you're about to literally orgasm is now pulsating through all of your body. And then it was like a avalanche or some type of hurricane or some type of thunderstorm that was just going through me as I awakened this process. And it was just, I literally felt like I was having sex with God, the universe itself. And it was like, Yeah, it was just, it was very wild. After that,
Yes.
I looked at myself in the mirror and I seen my skin was glowing. And I was like,
Mhm.
what is this? This just means now I'm able to actually hold more energy in my body. And it seems as if everything is now free to flow throughout my body. Like there's no more
Yes.
blockages. Immediately I felt the energy to give out. Like after the
Mhm.
process happened, I made a video right after the process. It's called How to Love Yourself. I went Facebook Live, and that video actually attracted more people than any video I had, and it was because I was glowing.
Yes, and do you want to learn the synchronicities are really interesting. Right when I was going through my experience, I put out a book chapter in a book called Learning to Love Yourself, volume 2,
Wow.
which is on Amazon. And my book chapter was like being the light or something like that. So it's like so aligned with what you're saying. And I don't know how long it lasted for you, but that feeling of like being made love to, that's what it felt like. I felt like I was being made love to for 4 days straight. It constant. And I was like, okay, this is really uncomfortable to be feeling like this as I'm like working and I gotta answer these emails and I'm like, oh, like you feel like you're on the verge of orgasm. And it was kind of cool, but like I couldn't make it stop either. So I'm just trying to be normal, like pretend
Right.
everything is fine. And I'm like, what is going on right now? But it was just this peak bliss, right?
Right.
Yeah, and then it lasted for, I would say, years for me. Like it never fully went away. It's still here. But I've kind of come down to earth again, like I was sharing with you earlier. But for a year after that, 2 years after that, I could still just pop right back into that bliss state pretty easily. And now I say I'm straddling, like I have one leg here and one leg in the bliss state, right? And to be
Right.
able to kind of go back and forth, because we also have to live in this world. We have to pay our
Yes.
bills.
Yes.
We
Yes.
have to pay rent. Otherwise, you're gonna be homeless again, right? I'll be homeless. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but when now that energy comes flooding in, it's very you're very dysregulated. Like you can't,
Right.
it's just like, I mean, imagine for all of you that are watching right now, imagine you're right on the verge of orgasm, but now you have to cook dinner, like balance your checkbook, like it's almost impossible to do these things. And so yeah, it was hard for me to do my taxes. I don't know how I got through school, like my papers. I mean, that was just, but I felt protected. I felt like there was some higher beings looking out for me. And the other thing that I heard you say is you're meditating a lot. For me at the time, I was meditating an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening. And the reason I started meditating is just to get through the divorce. Like I was still trying to deal with all the toxic energy and the sabotage and everything coming from my partner at the time, my husband at the time. And so that was like my way to just not escalate into violence or erupt, add to that. But it actually accidentally sent me into this Kundalini awakening. And yeah, super crazy. Oh, the candles are here. Oh, it's about to get sacred over here, Davonte.
Oh yeah.
We're bringing it in. Wow. What a magical day. So yeah, say more about what you did then with that sexual energy, and that kind of feeds into, oh, you're a goddess. Thank you so much. I love you. Blanket by Steffi. Okay, so yeah, say more about how that sexual energy maybe felt in your body, what you did with it. Did you
This sexual energy, it made me satisfied. I literally learned how to be satisfied, literally with just myself, without
Yep.
anything. It's like
Yes.
I no longer wanted anything else. It's
I didn't
like,
even want a partner. I was
right,
like, this is all
exactly.
mine. That's
Exactly.
fine.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, I just unlocked the cheat code to life. Like
Yeah. Yes.
I
yes.
literally was, that's why I made that How to Love Yourself video, because I was literally like, if y'all unlock this, there's nothing else you will want. And
Yes.
then that sexual energy just started to magnetize so many opportunities and events and people, and it just started helping me. And I would just be walking in the grass, because I do ground a lot. I'll be walking in the grass and I would feel the tingle. And I was like, wow, this just feels so awesome. I would be literally eating food, feeling the orgasmic feeling. And I'm like, this is what we're designed to feel. This is what we're we're supposed to be feeling. We're supposed to be feeling alive. And I realized it was just that I had liberated my sexual energy, I purified my sexual energy, I released trapped sexual energy, and now I'm just a being that's able to hold more sexual energy with me. So this energy just really allowed me to manifest everything quicker, because everything that we have around us is because of our sexual energy. Everything that we create in our life is via our sexual energy. Every thought that you have, even the thoughts we're having now, is receiving sexual energy from us. So when I would meditate, that's another way to receive chi energy, sexual energy, straight from the universe. I'll also experience these huge mega body rocking orgasms. So I would just like spend a lot of time almost disconnected from reality a lot. It would just be me just relaxing, me just being completely deeply in the moment, like just so focused in the now. And even to this day, it's just me like just completely fulfilled where I am, just me not desiring. In the secret, you unlock a secret that not needing anything attracts everything, because truly you don't need anything. You realize even money couldn't give you this feeling. Nothing in the world could give you this feeling.
It was truly a gift. And I know for me, I remember the exact moment when that flooded into my body, and I saw, these two spirals, like divine masculine, divine feminine, and then they got faster and then joined into one in this explosion. And I felt this Jesus Christ, like Christ consciousness, white light around me, and it just flooded in like a warmth, like, and it was that exact same thing that you're describing, which is like, wow, I feel so whole and complete, and I don't have a desire for anything. Like I don't ever need to be with another partner. Like it's just me and my spiritual source. And then, even realizing that that's when I decided I need to get a divorce, like immediately, because I realized that partner was not on that level of understanding that. And not only that, but he was probably going to get in my way.
Right.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. One thing, Steffi, if Kirti's around, remember that ring light? I actually gifted it to her, but maybe I could grab it and put it on my phone. Actually, I don't even know if it'll clip on there because the lighting is going. We might be okay. It's about 6:36 right now. Okay, awesome. Thank you. We're having to roll with it today because we had to do a makeshift outdoor studio over here. But that feeling of fullness, of completeness, of not needing another person, and realizing that whoever decides to walk with you on your path is also going to be connected to their source. And it's like your mirrors for each other, just reminding each other who you are and what what is true and where that feeling comes from, and not thinking that somebody else has to create that in you, because that's not how it works. You're enjoying each other. And I mean, I don't think you can like read that and understand it. But it's just a feeling. Feeling comes in, and there's so many words. You just feel it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so much DNA is being awakened in just one moment. So much divine knowledge and wisdom is poured into you. So many aha moments, so many secrets of the universe being revealed to you, all right there in that one moment. It's just a massive awakening. It's a massive energy that we have to learn responsibility and how to handle. I actually later in life, I had this a couple of months after, I learned how to literally send this energy through my hands and to another person when I would hug them or when I would hold their hand. And these persons, after I did that, they would literally just come out and say, I just want to let you know that I enjoy being here with you, or that I love you. And I was like, this is some powerful energy. What am I?
It's unconditional love. That's what I feel like too. It's like you're spreading unconditional love in every moment of every day. A eye contact with somebody on the street, or some words, or for me, I still work with clients, but the clients that I worked with, and I do hypnosis, so I was kind of like connecting back to that through my hypnosis, and people started just loving my hypnosis sessions and booking, and I'm like, what, guys, like what is like this is like what's going on? But looking back now, I realize it was that energy, that was the energy transfer that was coming in. And it's that radiance, and people, it feels good. Like people, it feels accepting, loving to people. And I know that when I spend time with other people that have gone through a Kundalini experience, it kind of reactivates mine again. So I have a friend who, you know, we were on the mountain hiking and talking about it, and I was feeling a little disconnected from that energy. You know, I was feeling like, oh no, what's happening? And then you start to get a little scared, like, oh, like, is it not there anymore? And then just talking about her experience, like we're doing now, I just felt it start to surge in my body again, which lasted probably about a week at least, you know. And so now I'm like, oh, I just need to be spending more time with Kundalini people. So, you know, I'm kind of curating my inner circle to keep that love, that unconditional love energy flowing. And even for the people that are tuning in with us right now, if you have any questions as we're talking, or even let us know, like, are you feeling any kind of unconditional love as we're talking about these experiences? You know, are you starting to feel some of that energy transfer, you know, just through this conversation? I hope so, because I think Davonte and I both embodied it today, and we are here, heart open, sharing it, blasting it out. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions. Yeah, so it's almost like you kind of learned how to do some healing with it.
Yes.
With
Yes.
by sending it out through your hands and radiating it out and being very generous with that energy. And then you mentioned before how important protection is too, because there's people that see you like a warm meal then, and
Yes. Yes.
or even people more so unconsciously, they don't even know why, but they just,
Yes.
like, you could be on the bus or whatever, and somebody just is literally like leaning into you without even realizing it, and they're like, give me some
Right.
space, but they're just attracted to that energy. Yeah.
You
So what
become
do you?
you become a divine pulsating magnet to
Yes.
literally everything. It's like everybody's a magnet, but your magnet has just been amplified times 100, and you're literally
Yeah.
just pulling life to you. So when
Yes.
this happened, I seen that everything was being pulled to me. Everything was, you know, being attracted to me. But now I had to be more selective of who I allow in my space. Not because I don't need it. Now I realize I don't want the attention. I don't really need, you know, people, so to speak. You know, I love people, but I don't really need these people to feel love anymore. It's
Right.
so
It's
pulsating
all
through,
internal.
so pulsating through me. It's all internal. And just knowing that, you know, energy, everything is energy. Life is a game of energy. Basically, those who have the most energy win the game. Those who have the most energy rule the world, rule the game. So all energy is just seeking more energy. That's all. Everything is energy, just seeking more energy. And if you have more energy and you're around people who don't have as much energy, they're going to unconsciously be pulled to you because they don't know why, but they're going to want some type of energy by being in your aura, whether it comes through money, whether it comes through whatever. They're just going to be drawn to you subconsciously to get this energy. And people will just start to like you. People will start to feel healed just by being in your
Being near you.
space.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like you become a healer. And so I'm looking at the comments now, and I'm seeing Remy says, yes, feeling connected to you both and myself. That's beautiful. Thank you. And then also she says, can you recommend a Kundalini yoga for beginners on YouTube? I would send you to my co-host Kirti, who does the show with me every other week. She's like literally, her family is beneath us right now having a traditional Indian feast for celebrating her birthday, but she's an amazing facilitator of Kundalini yoga, and she and her partner Shafar do something called hip hop Kundalini, where they do kind of like qigong, and they with hip hop music, and just get that energy going. So I would say that you have to be careful if you're trying to seek this experience out, because I think Davonte and I both, it happened to both of us, it sounds like kind of accidentally, like we were just kind of going about our life, and then these experiences came, and it was a spontaneous eruption. But I think if you're seeking this experience out, you have to be prepared for what could opening up Pandora's box, because having to repeat what I went through, I would not want to repeat that. Even with all of the bliss that was coming, it was just like so much darkness and then so much bliss. It was one or the other. It was like I'm either here and then I'm popping back here and then back here, and life was pretty wild. So I would say make sure that you have a good guide. So yeah, I think definitely connecting with Kirti, and she's on Instagram. If you're not following her already, follow her. She's I think her handle is Dils Kirti Dance, Dilse. Okay, I think, are there any other questions that I missed? And hello, La Negro Rosso. Thank you for coming back again. Welcome. Everything is energy, yes. So yeah, and you're obviously, like, when you're that magnetic attractor, it's going to be good for business. That's another thing that you and I have in common. You had Forex. I was doing I still am, network marketing, nutritional business, and that right around the same time, like, left employment, went into that, and that really started to take off too. And I had no idea that going into that business would bring such amazing connections and networks and groups of people, and very spiritually authentic people. So yeah, a lot of similarities in our stories, for sure.
Yes, yes, yes. It's so amazing. So people who seeking like to have this experience must first learn how to cultivate and build sexual energy. You, for one, being your marriage. So that, probably, sometime in marriages, couples stop having sex, and, I don't know if that's what happened in yours, but the sexual energy gets repressed and it gets, pushed to the back. That's a way of building it, but it's still repressed. So we then start grounding the sexual energy and then removing blocks so the sexual energy can begin to raise within us. So when you start meditating, that is a grounding for your sexual energy. That is allows your sexual energy to start to rise. Because if you're just trying to have a Kundalini awakening while not being careful with your sexual energy by, having all these sexual partners they're literally draining the sexual energy that could be used to awaken all of yourself. So
yeah, well, some partners drain it and other partners are like a catalyst. It's about, but you want somebody who's in your same vibration of mindfulness and in sacredness of the act, I think.
right.
And in my case, yeah, my sexual energy was very repressed because it wasn't a safe place for it to be held, and so my body wouldn't let it out. And I started to think that I was sexually dysfunctional, even though I tend to have a naturally high sex drive. And when we separated and his energy was no longer in my living space, and then all these other experiences, the past life regression, like all these things, it just like burst open. It just all, like, came to the surface. And yeah, and I think the meditation is also like creating a container to hold all of that. So it's almost like, you have to create the container before an experience like this can happen.
Right.
And yet there's things that we can do to raise the, like, little bits of Kundalini. I think this is what Kirti and I are really passionate about, and partly why we started this show, is to bring people little bits of Kundalini so they can start to dance with this energy without having to have the like disruptive, like, whoa, and like lose their, marriages or their jobs or all these things that happen, their family, like everybody thinking they're crazy, get diagnosed, all this stuff. So yeah, and okay, let's see. Remy's saying I'm having similar experience right now. Thank you. Oh wow. Okay, very cool. Very cool. And I think energy is awakening on the planet right now. I think a lot of people do you feel the same thing, Davonte? Like,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
you just like things are breaking open, and more of this unconditional love is spreading, and people are kind of awakening to who they are and their spiritual connection, and as spiritual beings living in these physical bodies where we get to experience all these amazing sensations. And bringing back that sacredness to sex. Even when you talk about sexual energy, I wonder if people are misinterpreting what you mean by that, you know, what we're talking about, because sexual in our culture is, you know, we think of dirty or like porn or these sorts of things, and that energy is so far off from the energy that you're speaking of, and you're speaking
Right.
of sexual as being creative, like egg and sperm makes a whole other human, and
Exactly.
sexual energy, you know, creates a human. It can create a business, it can create, like I was saying earlier, it can create a solution for world hunger. It can, this is what Kundalini is, this is what this energy is, and it goes so much bigger than sex, but sex is one vehicle. It's like it's a natural meditation, whether it's with yourself or with somebody else, but it's got to be somebody who honors that sacredness of it, so that's not popping you out of that vibration, because otherwise what happens, and those blocks come up again, right? And then the repression starts again.
Yeah. So as a society, you know, society's always, you know, draining our sexual energy and over sexualizing sexual energy. I know that sounds pretty crazy, but over making sexual energy just something that's physical. And the reason why we over sexualize sexual energy and make it just physical is that's because that's where most people consciousness is vibrating, in the root chakra. So this sexual energy is literally what's creating everything in your life. So you're always using sexual energy. You can't turn it off. We are essentially a mature sex cell. Your spine, your spinal cord, your brain, all of that is just the same like the sperm. It's the head of the sperm is basically the head of your spinal column, and the antenna, the tail that goes down is basically your spine. So that's you. You are that grown sex cell. So everything you do, you're creating with this sexual energy. This is more of you. The more sexual energy you have in you, the more you have in you. The more you can feel life itself. When you have low sexual energy, when everything is draining your sexual energy, your ability to feel life is very little. You're not sensitive, because sensitivity is life. And sexual energy is, the more sexual energy you have, the more sensitive you become. So when you start to, you know, build up a lot of this energy and stop just using it in sex, your pleasure, your ability to feel pleasure with life itself increases. So you're experiencing a pleasure far greater than just the limited genital root chakra orgasm.
Right. And everything, like you said, becomes orgasmic. Looking at the clouds are orgasmic. The food that you taste slowly, mindfully becomes orgasmic. Like I've been hanging out with this sunflower all day. I can't stop. Like, I'm just like, I was on the beach, like I was had it laying on me. I was like dancing with it. You know, we were playing music, and I was just like, I has to come on my video with me. It just feels like, you know, sunshine.
It's a very beautiful flower.
Thank you. And it's Steffi's. Somebody gave it to her, but she shared it with me. So she had a bouquet. But yeah, like everything becomes then, it's just like pleasure. You know, it's just pleasure for me to even look at this bright yellow color is pleasurable, to like feel the softness of the petals. And what if we can just slow life down enough to remember that? That's why we're here. Like we're in these bodies here on earth, and we're not just like energy floating around in other dimensions, although people like, you know, to be visiting those other dimensions, but we're here in a body right now so that we can experience this pleasure and see what we can create with it, like you're saying, this creation energy. And Jess is on here, she says music too. Yeah, music gets us into altered states. And you know, the shittiest shit can happen, but when you're in this vibration of like, well, let me just enjoy this moment, or really feel everything into this moment, and it's not so bad. What's the worst that could happen? We die.
Exactly.
And then we're floating around in another dimension.
Exactly. we're essentially, we want to experience pleasure. We want to experience more life. We're just settling for these small hits of pleasure instead of the greatest pleasure we can feel within.
Yes.
So we're always on the run. This is why we can't slow down and really enjoy life. We're trying to get that pleasure, but we don't know that the greatest pleasure we can experience is already within us.
Yeah.
It's It's
just
already
paying
within us.
attention. It's like
Right.
spirituality itself. There's a saying that the world is a spiritual world. Whether or not you're paying attention to it is another thing. So it's about slowing down to notice the
Right.
threads, the synchronicities, like what's flowing through your life. It's there, but some people look at it, some people don't. Some people, pay attention or believe in it. Some people don't even let themselves go there. And like you're talking about these little hits of pleasure, people, Starbucks, or like a drag off of a cigarette or whatever. And it's like you try to fill up your life with these tiny little hits of pleasure that actually take you further away from this true sustainable pleasure that's already in you.
Yes.
Just wants to express. It just wants to come out and be played with. It
Right.
wants to like move through your body. Yeah, with music or dancing or making love or hanging out with a flower. Yeah,
You're
I
right.
love it. I
As
love
a
it.
kid, we naturally come out because we're fresh from the source. Fresh from the source. As a baby, you naturally have the most amount of chi energy, sexual energy flowing through you. That's why your skin is so radiant. Everybody wants to hug you and call you cute and stuff like that. And even as a toddler, your imagination is running wild. That's just basically your sexual energy. But as we become adults, we begin to become institutionalized. We begin to become are cut off to our imagination. Our sexual energy begins to become repressed and drained. So
Yep.
we're no longer able to be this radiant, imaginative, creative, joy, happy, childlike being that we are, and we become this adult, essentially.
Yeah, and get further and further away from our true nature. And I think
Exactly.
this is what I love about hypnosis too, because it it puts people into theta brainwaves, which is where you are in childhood from up until about like age 9 or 10. You're in that theta wave, which is a good example of this is like my son told me once when he was like 4 or 5 that his sister fell down and he's like, Mom, the green fairy came out of the sky and picked her up again. And that was real to him. He was more open to fantasy. They don't know the difference between fantasy and reality, and that's a beautiful, creative, powerful place to be, because then you get to create your perspective of what you
Exactly.
want, and then that quantum physics, law of attraction, whatever, that starts to take shape. It's where we're putting our attention is what materializes. Enough energy gets condensed that it
Yes.
actually gets condensed into physical matter.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So what do you think has been the maybe the biggest aha or the biggest takeaway or the biggest gift maybe from your Kundalini awakening? Like, what is it? Because I feel like with Kundalini awakening, it does awaken you to your purpose on the planet. And
Yes.
and it sort of like course corrects you. Like if you're going off in a not as good direction, it's like, nope, motherfucker, you're over here. Like, this is where you're supposed to be, and you're supposed to be radiating and sharing the love, and then all that other stuff that we tend to chase just kind of comes to us naturally, right?
Right.
It still blows my mind that I've been in business full time. I used to have, my business was part time, I worked full time. I've been in business full time now for 5 years, and even with COVID, I'm like, how is this still, like, I didn't have any business plan. I was like going through a practical mental breakdown, a divorce, like in a PhD program. How the heck did I create a profitable business? It just created itself. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna stay open to the flow, and it sort
Right.
of organizes itself. And I don't want to say it's like easy. It's not easy. We still work our butts off, and we do the things and do the trainings and all of that stuff too. But yeah, I mean, I started my business with $300. That's pretty crazy
Right.
to think about.
And that's actually showing people what's possible, that we don't need this huge amount of money to start a profitable business.
Well, you said something earlier. Energy is life, and that's money is just energy. Money is
Right.
just one way to, it's energy exchange. But I think right now, along with this awakening on the planet, perhaps it's like we're stepping more into our self-worth, like this exchange of energy rather than dollars, right? Like
Right.
what is worth our energy, or where are we putting our energy, or how are we using our energy, and that being like true abundance and true wealth.
Right.
Like there was some of us last night, you know, we stayed here, and some had to go back to work. Like they had to leave because they had to work today. And I was like, everything I had going on just got canceled, and here I am. I get to spend a surprise day by the beach. It's pretty awesome. You know, it's like the universe kind of conspired, the energy kind of conspired for me to be here and absorb this and go live with you tonight. So yeah, but back to my original question as I'm winding around, what do you think was your biggest takeaway or lesson or understanding with your
My biggest
experience?
understanding was that I am worthy, that
Yeah.
self-worth is internal. Like if
Mhm.
anything in life doesn't increase this amount of pleasure or it doesn't add to me, then I don't need it. Because now I realize that I am the source of the good feeling. And if I can generate this good feeling within myself, by myself, without nothing, then I'm whole. I'm complete. There's nothing that I'm searching for. There's nothing that I'm truly trying to obtain that would fill in the hole within me. The
Yeah.
hole within me is the love within me. The hole within me is being filled by the universe. And that I'm in a complete relationship with the universe. And the universe literally wants to pour its love within me if I open myself up and surrender to it. So the whole Kundalini, as I was doing the exercise, the more I surrendered, the more pleasure and bliss I felt. So it was just as if this universe just wanted me to just let go. And the more I let go, the higher I rose. The more I let go, the more things flowed, and I didn't have to force anything. So this really just allowed me to surrender deeply to the moment. Just know that the universe wants me to be happy. The universe wants me to be pleasurable. I am valuable. I am worthy. There's nothing outside of me that defines my worth. So it really just boosted my self-confidence, my self-worth. It just showed me that a new standard has been reached in my life. Like if people are draining me, if people aren't matching this level or adding to this type of pleasure, then what do I need them in my life for? Well,
Absolutely.
so that really just separated me from anything that wasn't aligned with my purpose. Just like you said, it kind of course corrects you because you realize, whoa, I was chasing all that sideways stuff and it wasn't giving me this feeling. Now teaching, just talking, what am I doing? Everything I'm doing that's aligned with my path gives me that same feeling. And I know whether I'm on my course just based on the feeling that I'm getting from
Yeah.
when
You
I'm giving it.
feel like you talked about that sensitivity you feel when you pop out of alignment then. Yeah.
Right.
And I love what you say, especially for people that are watching right now, and like they're curious about this process, because we're with this whole COVID thing, people are losing, especially small businesses. People are losing their businesses. They're worried about money. People are unemployed. All of this stuff. But when we realize our wealth is already inside of us.
Yes.
There's nothing outside of us. It's like understanding, again, it's paying attention to what has yet to be created. And if we only surrender, like connect with that spiritual source or that download and surrender and let the universe hold us, let the universe take care of us, let the universe guide us to what's going to lead to paying the rent or putting food on the table or whatever else. And we always think that, you know, in this masculine world, we have to be the sperm and like get after it and go after it. But so much, I think, of the lesson, the planetary universal lesson right now is to surrender and be made love to, right?
Yes.
Receive. Yeah.
Yes.
Let go, which leads to, you know, the topic coming up in 2 weeks with Habib, which is squirting. It's like able, like, how do you, like, for a woman to be able to do that, she has to be able to feel safe and let go. And how do you feel safe spiritually, universally right now when there's so much going on? It's about the trust, faith, like just knowing what's the worst that can happen. I pop out of this dimension, I leave this body, oh well, and then we start a new journey somewhere else. You know, you can always recreate again because it's within you.
Right.
Yeah, nothing can be taken away from you. That's the riches are inside.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, this is even while we're talking, a lot of energy is rushing up towards the eye area, towards the crown chakra, and it's almost like a high. It's like I feel that high. It's like, yeah, that's what I just feel it.
Oh, Oh, that's awesome. And here, like this, you could probably see it, like the color here is very golden. Like the sun is just now dipped below, and the moon, the crescent moon is shining, and I have all this ocean energy coming in. So it's just, I'm with you. I'm riding the
Right.
wave with you. I'm feeling it, and just the softness. I have candlelight here now beside me, and it's cool that even though we're connecting with everyone through Instagram and here on YouTube, and energy connects, like we're having this conversation, we're both putting our intention to connect with one another, to talk about this topic, to connect with the people that are tuning in, and you feel that energy just wherever you all are. I'm in Mission Beach in San Diego, Davonte's in South Carolina, wherever you all are tuning in from, and you get to feel that now. So I don't know, how do you feel about maybe let me look at the time. Oh shoot, okay, this is actually good because we have about a minute left on Instagram. So if anybody wants to come over to YouTube, Natasha Edwina is my YouTube channel. We're going to keep going and maybe do a little experiential practice, a little bonus over there for you on YouTube. So please join us over there. And Davonte, tell us how people can work with you, just real quick in like a minute, how they can find you and some of the things that you might be offering.
All right, so I teach a spiritual course to help you basically connect to your higher self, basically unlock all your chakras and help you, assist you with the Kundalini awakening as well. Also, a divine masculine force course. So it's all combined into one course I call God Strategy, because they all pour through me at once. You can find this at www.wealthy10klife.com. You can also contact me on my Facebook, Davonte Sheard, or my IG, Davonte_Sheard.
I hope you all enjoyed Davonte's energy and story and just beauty and radiance as much as I did. So if you did, come on over to YouTube. We're going to keep going and do a little practice. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hope to have Davonte back again. And yeah, come see us on YouTube. Okay, it ended. There we go. Oh, Stephanie's here. Oh, awesome. You know what? I don't even know. Maybe I can clip it here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Goddess. Thank you for coming and checking on me.
No
That's
problem.
so
I'm gonna put this
lovely
guy
of
in
you.
water.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. She's taking
I'm
her
gonna-
sunflower back.
Can I bring you a salad?
Oh, I'm fine right now. I'm good with the water. I'll come down and eat. Just leave some food for me when
There's a whole plate.
I bet there is. Oh, awesome.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for checking on me. Okay, I'm gonna pull this little.
These lights are the blessing.
They really are. Ah, yeah. We're lighting up over here, metaphorically and actually. So I'm gonna pull this little ring light out here to hook next to my camera, so that as the light goes down, we can still see. But yeah, maybe we can do like a little experiential technique just to saturate, or even like a little meditation to saturate more in this beautiful energy that's coming through, and to help transfer that to anyone who's tuning in who wants to get a little bit of Kundalini if they haven't already. Just listen to us talk about it, because that's the thing, is you talk about these things and you start to feel them.
Yes.
It's your intention, that law of attraction thing. Okay, I did not expect there to be so much plastic on this. It's like really, this is like how my sexuality was. It was like, where is it? Like, just let it out. It's all wrapped in plastic. I can't get there. Gotta break free. Even our light. Oh man, now the batteries too. they're a divine energy source.
Right.
Oh, they're all
That's
wrapped
literally
up.
the sexual energy, right? That's our battery.
Yeah. And there's two. We got a little divine feminine and a divine masculine here.
Positive and negative.
And you have the polarity. So the polarity, the plus and negative.
Right.
No, you can't have it misconnecting. You got to have that magnet.
Exactly.
Otherwise the light doesn't turn on. It doesn't work. No power. Yeah. Okay. This works. Beautiful. I'm illuminated.
Yay.
We are good. Okay. Thank you for enjoying the sunset with me. All right. So, what are you feeling? Would you like to lead some folks through a meditation, or would you like me to, or how do you want to do this?
Well, I can lead us through some breathing exercises
Okay.
so that we can get the energy within us. And then
Yeah.
I'll take us to a meditative state so we can feel the energy and let it go throughout our bodies.
Perfect. Sounds
All right.
amazing. All right, let's do it.
So this is a little technique I do, and typically I stand up, but it's the way the cameras are set up right now, I'm gonna just do it sitting down.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to put your arms like this around your root chakra. So that's right above your genital area or near your genital area. You want to breathe in through your nose, and while you're breathing in, you want to pull the energy up to your heart chakra. So you want to exhale, flip the hands over, push it down, back down to the root.
Okay.
Now you want to bring your hands in front of you, like this. While inhaling, bring it up to the top of your head. You're going to exhale down to the side. And we're just going to keep repeating that. Now just relax your hands on your lap. Take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now I want you to focus on one word. Keep repeating it in your mind. And that word is love. So love.
That's my word.
Love, 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 love.
I am, but you're welcome. We're meditating on love.
As you're saying this, I want you to feel the love expand throughout all your body. Feel the love going up your spine, going throughout all your body, going through your legs. Now feel the universe pouring massive amounts of love into you. Now everything that you feel, expand it. Increase the love. Yes. Let the love flow. Increase the amount of love in you. Love, love, love. Feel all of your senses begin to activate. Feel your body completely relaxing into the love. Surrendering to the love. Let go into the love. Let go. Let go. Surrender to the love. Go deeper into the surrendering. Let go. Let go. And you can take three deep breaths into the nose, out through the mouth.
Thank you.
You're beyond welcome.
You are a gifted channel too. First of all, calling my astrological sign in the beginning, and we had a mini ceremony earlier today, and we all set intentions. And my intention was, I want to see how much love I can hold. I just want to let it all flow in and then flow out, and this continuous flow. And then you do this meditation.
Wow, it's beautiful.
You did. You just beamed on down with your floating in your black background. Yeah, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully we can do this again. Maybe we can talk about some, some spin-offs, some other little topics that we didn't get to cover yet. But really enjoyed hearing your story, and just even more so the light that you bring and the way that you embody it and share it so generously. And just wish you so much success and beauty and love and everything on your path.
Thank you so much.
You're doing the work. All right. Well, I will, so this will be live on my YouTube. So anybody that's watching, want to share this with anybody, especially this juicy, beautiful meditation at the end, you can find Davonte. What's your website again, Davonte?
www.wealthy10klife.com.
Okay, Wealthy 10K Life. And he's on Facebook and Instagram as well. And I guess we're signing off for tonight. So enjoy. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you for everyone for joining in. Join us again next week for a beautiful topic with Kirti. All right. Good night, Davonte.
Good night. Namaste.
Namaste.